So one of the things that I do with clients is get them to understand that the challenges that they're going through are actually there to help to create a new consciousness. Without adversity, you don't grow. If it's party, and it's all good, you don't grow. Because adversity creates the space to find new ways of being, a new consciousness, a new way. You realize the old way no longer serves you. So if I'm working with clients with serious disease, whether it's ME, MS, Parkinson's disease, cancer, all different types of disease, as it was on my own journey, the old state of consciousness that's holding the dis-ease, the unease deeply inside someone, is no longer serving them, but partly the consciousness doesn't want to change. It doesn't want to let go of that. But all growth happens by facing the very thing that we are suffering from, and we go in our opposite tendency. And it takes courage to do that, because the old way of being has worked for so long. When we begin to address that, we start to see that life becomes more abundant, more joyous, more peaceful by going in our opposite tendency. It's very like how I work with clients, as it was on my own journey, with the Enneagram. If we use the Enneagram just as a personality typing system, it's virtually useless. You're accessing hardly any of the power of it. The great power of that is that it highlights your ego, and it highlights where you cause your own suffering daily. And when you're causing your own suffering, you're also causing suffering in the world. Your suffering will affect other people. And the more you liberate yourself, the more that you unconsciously also liberate others, because your very being has that effect. It's the opposite of putting poison in a swimming pool. This is you could say, well, a tiny little bit of poison, but if it's poisonous enough, it'll poison the whole swimming pool. But it works the opposite way, where this is life-giving. It's the opposite of poison. It's true love. It's life itself. And you imagine putting a drop of that in a swimming pool, and then everything else is affected by it. So the more that we work on ourselves, the more that we hold ourselves accountable for our own being, and whether we are searching for security outside of ourselves, or love and approval, or control, we know that it will work. It just won't work. It's the old system. It's the old way of non-being in order to try and create being. It's like the sun sets over there, but you're waking up every day and looking east and being disappointed because you're expecting a sunset, but it's not. It's the other way. You're going to get a sunrise. So the very thing that we're searching for will not ever be there, because we're looking in the wrong place. We have to go in. The ego always looks externally for getting its needs, but the reality is that it just will never work that way. It'll be an endless quest of trying to find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The rainbow's within. And we can go within and realize that it is there. And the more you do it, the more that you'll realize that everything that anybody has ever written in any religious text or spiritual text, it just makes sense. It's like when they say the kingdom of God is within you. It's the fact that there's this ever-present being, and it's underneath all of this ego wanting. So despite what's happening in the world with the coronavirus right now, it's another invitation. It's another opportunity to create being in your life. It's another opportunity to center yourself and realize what's important, and to keep working towards the manifestation of your wishes. The more that we can create that on a daily basis, you start to feel that richness that's inside of you. And And that'll affect everything that you do and every person that you come into contact with. So one thing that you can do at this time is concentrate on what's important. Family, relationships, nature, getting out, doing simple things. The more that you'll tap into the real riches of life, you can say that, when that coronavirus came and, we lost money, the business went into sort of a crisis, we struggled with this and we struggled with that. It actually also opened up something else. It made us realize what was really important. It helped us to make a shift and a change so that we lived our lives in the future in a more harmonious way, a more abundant way, a more relaxed way, a more centered way. All the challenges that we get in life always have this that presents itself because everything is a gift. We're all really on a journey to become highly evolved beings, and many people don't realize that at all, and that's okay. But when people have had enough pain after they realize that getting what they want doesn't make them happy, it's a wonderful thing where I've worked with some phenomenally wealthy and successful people and still do, and I'm able to help to show them that there's a way out from all of that. That chasing after success or love or health or something else, it's like, let it come to you. Let it come to you through being. And then your definition of success is very different. Because success doesn't exist. It's what's called a nominalization in NLP. It's just a word about stuff. And you can find very successful people who have very little in life, financially or out of manifestation wise, but they have a huge amount of richness of being. So it all becomes a personal journey to what's most important. So although it's challenging, and although it may be challenging over the next few months, 6 months, however long, surrender to it. Realize that this is an opportunity that presents us for the creation of something that's better. Breakdowns are breakthroughs, and that's the same individually as well as in totality. So I'm going to go for a nice walk, put on a hat, I think, a scarf and some gloves, put the convertible up and go and watch the sunset. I bid you farewell.